Hello everyone, my name is Jeff Rolka. Thank you for checking out my video. Yes, this warm-up is part of my Aging Voice series, but in truth, it's just a really well-balanced warm-up that is going to spend more time getting ready for higher range singing than maybe what is typical in a lot of the videos that I do. We're going to focus first on balance, doing some dynamic air pressure exercises. Then we're going to do some hybrid exercises where you got to try to maintain that balance into melismatic phrases. And then we'll get into fully melismatic stuff that goes up over both the middle voice registration event as well as the secondo passaggio. And having said all that, I'm not going to talk much more at all in this video. So thank you if you have chosen to subscribe, and a big thank you to my Patreon supporters. I really appreciate the support. Thank you so very much for joining me there. And for those of you who are members and support me that way on the YouTube channel, thank you as well. I appreciate your support. We're beginning with dynamic air pressure exercises. We're covering quite a wide range because as our voices change, we can in fact access other areas and maybe access other areas less, so we can kind of move around a little bit. It pays to explore, is another way of saying that. So if it's ever too low, maybe just hold off for a second or try the lip trill and see if that works, and then come in when it becomes a little bit more accessible for you. And equally, if it ever goes too high, just drop out or try the lip trill for a moment and then get back in as we descend and it comes back into a more manageable range for you. I'm not saying you shouldn't experiment with the extremities, but take it in turn. Just be gentle with your voice. Dynamic air pressure exercises are short notes. So we're going to begin with you. You, 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 you. You, however, will begin there. And sopranos and mezzos, you will of course have noticed that we went over the primo passaggio. It's nearly impossible to avoid that because of the space that you have below that point in your voices. I would encourage you to honor that registration event and use these dynamic air pressure exercises as a means by which to practice that switching. Let's do that same thing again. You, 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 you. And we, 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 we. And descending arpeggio, then ascending, and then a descending scale with May. I'm going to show you here. We're going to stick to U on the descending, on the short notes, I should say. U, 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 May. And again, U, 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 May. Starting here. And May, the A vowel switching into ah. U, 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 May, ah. U, 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 May, ah. And A into O. U, 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 A, O. There is an M there on the A vowel. May, O. But you want to try and minimize it. Don't make too much of that sound. U, 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 May, O. And my favorite exercises. May, ah, a, ah. It's going to sound like this. May, ah, may, ah, may, ah. We'll go a little bit faster than that. May, ah, may, ah, may, ah. And again, not too much of those M consonants. Very light on the lips, if you will. Starting here, and may, oh. May, oh, may, oh, may, oh. Very similar. And moving on to the lip trill, we'll now be ascending over the middle voice registration event as well as the secondo passaggio. Some of these exercises, or most of these exercises, will cover two registration events, the primo passaggio in the middle voice registration event, or the middle voice registration event and the secondo passaggio. It's a lip trill pattern. I'll show you here. No, I'll show you here. Just like that. If you can do the super lip trill, you can do that too. All right. Starting here. And Let's do it again. Maybe just a smidge faster. And... A and ah moving up over both the middle voice registration events and the secondo passaggio. 5-note scale. A, ah. Work your dynamics. So less on the bottom, opening up as you ascend, less when you get back to the tonic. A, ah. We are going to start here. And A and O. A, O. You're singing an octave up from a mi. Up from me. And... ah and O. Ah, O. And... reverse the order. O and ah. Ah. And... Similar exercise to earlier, no consonants, A and A, will now go, over the middle voice registration event and also the secondo passaggio. You're singing an octave above me. And A and O. A-O, A-O, A-O. And A and O. A and O. And reverse the order, O and A. And This isn't strictly speaking on the syllabus, but I did this in the other video and I feel like doing it here too. So just solid vowels, E, A, A, O, U, with chords. One, two, ready with me. Two on your own. Two, three, four. And there you go. As always, I do hope this helps. Not really much to say about that, really. I was kind of keen to maybe offer some additional thoughts or tips on this, but quite frankly, dynamic air pressure exercises help us balance vocal fold closure and subglottic air pressure. In other words, the vocal fold closure and the support. You do the short exercises, it helps you balance out. What's the right balance? That gives you the most effective, efficient, well-balanced sound. Then you try to maintain that balance as you get into melismatic exercises. We did the lip trill in the center of this exercise because I want to help you be more aware of the physicality of singing as we get into the upper register of our voices, because frequently that is what is lacking. And when we struggle with high notes, it's because we don't have enough engagement. And when you don't have enough engagement, the vocal folds try to make up for the difference, and then you get squeezy, or you get intonation problems, or you can't make it over a registration event because there's too much muscle tension around the vocal folds, and so they can't elongate effectively. But that gets solved with a little practice, with better subglottic air pressure. Anyways, thank you so very much for watching. As always, I hope this helps. Thank you again if you have chosen to subscribe. I appreciate it. It really helps the channel. Thank you to my Patreon supporters. It is truly with your support that this whole train continues to roll on, and I truly appreciate it. So thank you very much for that. And those of you who have joined me as members on YouTube, thank you for your support in that realm as well. Again, my thanks. Until next time, take really good care of your voices, enjoy singing, and hopefully I'll see you again. Bye.